Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn Raaker and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Welcome to the Chef You and I have as our guest chef tonight, one of my favorite chefs, and that's Father Andrew Umberg. And we're doing everything for Lent and for seafood lovers tonight, right?
Yes, especially for shrimp lovers.
Shrimp lovers.
We're keeping it to shrimp.
Shrimp. And I hear that you're making,
Ceviche.
ceviche.
Yeah.
Which is Peruvian.
Well, it's a South
American
dish. Yeah.
And what is incorporated into it, Father?
Well, the neat thing about ceviche is you use seafood, and again, we're just doing shrimp. We could put other stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit later on in it. But you cook the shrimp without heat. You cook it by putting it in lemon juice.
Ooh,
and in our
sounds
case,
good.
lemon and lime juice.
Those are my two favorite in the whole world because I make limoncello. I did make a lemon limecello. That was really good. But anyhow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, so we put that in there and it cooks. It takes a couple of hours to do it, so we'll have a little bit of time elapse here.
Right, so it really just marinates in it. Is that correct?
Right. And it so happens that most fish and most shellfish, they're very absorbent. And that's an important thing. Otherwise, if they didn't absorb well, they wouldn't be able to change. But the word that I've read, that they say it denatures the protein. That when we cook meat and it changes color and changes texture and everything, that's denaturing the protein. Well, you can do the same thing by citrus. Someone found out that by putting that in there.
Wow, that's cool. So what's the first thing that you're going to do tonight?
Our first step will be, I have a couple of jalapeno peppers. I'm going to use some of these for the Brussels sprouts, but one of these I want to scald. And why don't we go ahead and take the big one and scald that one.
Okay.
And we'll scald that a little bit. I have a little bit of peanut oil in a skillet back here.
All right.
And I want to scald this really nice. It'll blister, and then we'll be able to peel the skin off of it. I did this, I've done this before on this show. When I made the guacamole.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just turn this on. We'll get it crackling. It does put off some fumes. Okay. Another thing is, real quickly, I'm going to poke a couple of holes in the jalapeno before it gets too hot here, so we don't have any exploding jalapenos.
We don't want that.
No, we don't.
So, what have you been doing lately besides work?
Well,
have you been cooking at all?
I've been cooking a little bit. Not as many Lent dishes as I wanted to this year, so I'm glad to have this opportunity. I've never made shrimp and pasta yet this Lent, and that'll be another dish we're doing. So we're doing shrimp ceviche, and again, we could have shrimp and clams, and I think you can put in scallops. And I've one time took cod. A cod fillet and cut that into little cubes. Whatever you do, you just want to make sure it's no bigger than about the tip of my little finger here, or as I say, the tip of this finger. No bigger than a dice.
Pieces,
when you throw dice, about the size of dice is what you want, not the big fuzzy dice on
Now, the ceviche is a appetizer, am I correct?
Well, it can be a main dish. It's kind of a salad, but yeah, it depends on how much you put on the plate.
Okay, so you're talking about little squares like dice.
Yeah, about the size of playing dice, like a regular game table or official dice. That or smaller. And the thing is, you do that so that you make sure that the lemon juice gets all the way in. That's it.
Okay.
And you want to let it sit around 2 hours.
2 hours?
In the lemon juice. Okay. So once you do the first step of it, of mixing it together, then you put it in the refrigerator. I would imagine that's not absolutely necessary, but I like to be safe.
I do too, especially with seafood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have our jalapeno pepper scalding away back here.
Okay.
We moved
do you want
it
it to be brown, Father?
It can be brown, but the key thing is that it's just well blistered.
Hold on.
That's well blistered, and yeah, this is a little bit tricky. No matter what, as you're doing this, there's always going to be a little bit of a hazard, so you want to be careful. If you like splash screens, this is a good thing to use it for. So you got to kind of watch this. Now I say that, and then guess what? Now we're going to still work on another thing real quick, though. I just want. So tongs are the best way to handle a jalapeno when you're scalding it. Okay, so I'm going to put this down for a minute.
We're going to give you a screen. Our producer's going to do that so you don't get.
How wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so there we go, like this. Okay, and then we won't get splattered. Okay, so the next step is then I have a pound of shrimp.
Pound of shrimp.
These are white shrimp. They were already thawed at the grocery store. So that saves us the step of trying to thaw them. So this is about what a pound of shrimp looks like, okay?
Okay.
They fill is heaping both hands. These are 21 to 25 count shrimp.
Okay.
And they were reasonable at the store, so that's why I bought them. If you'll go ahead and get rid of that for me, I'm going to put these in the colander and rinse them off.
And you know, it's really important to rinse things off to get that. They're kind of slimy sometimes when you are working with shrimp, right, Father?
Correct.
Correct. So it's good for you to rinse them off. And now we're going to put these shrimp into this bowl. Am I correct?
Yes, we have to peel them first, though.
Okay. Not a hard thing. And actually, shrimp is one of my favorite things on this earth. I used to love to go to Florida, and we used to live in Florida, and we'd go down to see his mother in Punta Gorda, and that would be the first thing I'd say. Let's have some shrimp. Okay?
If you could get a bowl for me or a plate so we can let the colander drip onto that.
Okay, let's use a plate.
Okay, wonderful.
And you want me to
on the side.
Take this and put it like that?
Yes, that would be great if you go ahead and set that right there. In fact, then I'll go ahead and switch it a little bit here. Watch yourself on the knives there, and let's both go ahead and start peeling these then.
Okay.
And for right now, let's just go ahead and throw the shells right there.
Why can't we put them right here?
Well, that would be fine too. Okay, well there we go. Isn't that nice? Okay, so these are already deveined. It's nice to go ahead and start with the product that's already
you don't want
this way.
You don't want the tails on there, do you?
Right. We're taking all the hard parts off of them and just dumping them right here into this bowl for right now.
Okay. I used to do lots of shrimp boils when I lived in South Carolina and also in Florida. So I kind of miss that kind of stuff. We used to do crabbing when we were in Maryland.
Oh, that would be nice. And you can put crab meat in this too, by the way.
Right.
You know, just any of these absorbent, shellfish are great. And again, most other fish.
Mm-hmm. Well, you missed the La Perry show that we went to. That's for buyers, for stores like Hadding's, where I have some products. We went to the La Perry show, and you don't have to eat all day because they give you all this food. Of course, every place I went, Father, if it was processed or whatever, I'd say, do you have any garlic in that?
I need to get the tongs real quick here.
Go right ahead. And I'll continue doing this for us. This looks really good. Where did you get the shrimp?
Just at the local supermarket.
Oh, okay.
In their seafood section.
Good.
So not real fancy.
No, this is
shrimp,
fine.
These farmed shrimp are very reasonable in price.
Right. Okay. Great.
Okay. And our pepper back here is getting scalded very nicely.
Look at that. And you're going to do it with Brussels sprouts, right?
Well, yes. We'll also have some jalapenos in the Brussels sprouts, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I don't worry, folks. We're going to do something to calm it down a little bit. Actually, just even cooking a jalapeno does. And then that one will be cooked in there. I just got a little bit of oil there, just trying to
Do you take
show
the seeds?
process.
You don't take the seeds out, Father, do you?
Yes, I will. I will eventually do that with this.
Right.
The scalding is the first step, and then our next step is to take out the seeds. These get a little tricky sometimes to try to scald the whole thing.
But I actually am trying new recipes that are meatless this year during Lent, and finding out that you know, different types of fish and trying different types of fish that I had never tried before. But you can never, if you don't love shrimp, then there's lots of other things out there, like lobster, right? One of my favorites.
And as they said, there's more than one fish in the ocean.
That's right.
You can try a bunch of them.
That's right.
And yeah, each one has its own flavor, its own style. Some of them are more absorbent of flavors than others. Some of them are so precious that you want to kind of taste more of them.
Right. So, we're going to have this recipe up on our website, and we need to take a picture tonight so we can put Father on our website. We're going to take a short break, Father, and we're going to be right back on The Chef You and I with Father Andrew Umberg. We'll be right back. We're back on The Chef You and I with Father Andrew Umberg, and are we going to cook the shrimp now?
We are going to cook the shrimp with quotation marks, right?
Right,
because
right.
we're cooking it in the citrus.
Okay.
If you'll cut this lemon right in half and cut this lime right in half.
You're going to have so much fun with this. Go for it.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
How to do it?
Hold your breath. I don't know.
That's
We'll
easy.
see. This is nice. I don't have one of these at home, so I'm picking seeds out all the time. This is nice to be able to do this way.
See?
I guess that's pretty
you
official.
Do not,
Look at that. Look at
you
that.
do not lose anything that way.
You don't. Okay, and here I go again.
Now I know what I can get you. Easy peasy. Good.
Okay, look at that. There's
There's
another
no
one.
waste.
Then let's do a lime. Now, you can just do lemon or you can just do lime. I think both flavors are nice together. I talked to someone recently and they said, put some orange in it. Now, I don't know if the orange has enough acid in it or it's a strong enough acid to cook the shrimp, you know, so I would make sure that most of what you're doing is lemon and lime. But again, this guy said, oh, put some orange in it, and that really adds a nice flavor.
That's good. I don't know why
will
you
not
wouldn't.
try that
Citrus is,
tonight.
well, you know, citrus is really good for you. And you know, lemon actually does an alkaline effect on your stomach. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, so what you do?
Okay, and we want to pour that into that bowl. I'll let you go from here.
Let me just do it. Okay, so you just lift it off.
Well,
right?
how easy was that?
And then you just do
And
this.
not putting the seeds in. How nice.
Right? Isn't that wonderful?
It is wonderful.
And you get pure juice. So there you go.
Nice. Okay.
Is that easy?
So there's that. Okay, and I'll move that out of the way a little bit. And then we're going to start cutting these shrimp then into our little dice, you know. So each shrimp here, these again are 21 to 25 count.
Right.
I'm going with 3 apiece. So that's
Okay.
just about the size of dice, right? And we put them right into the lemon juice.
Okay.
And then so we'll go ahead and do this. We'll be working on this for a little bit.
How many do you want?
We'll go ahead and put them all in.
Okay. All right, that's simple.
Okay, and then, but I want
So
everybody to see.
magically, let's show this on
Okay.
camera. So
We'll
magically,
stir it around. They start to turn,
kind of pinkish.
yeah, they'll start to turn very, very pink. At first, they'll look a little bit gray. You know, when you're
Yeah.
first doing that, you'll think, gee, are these shrimp even okay to eat? And they are. That's fine. If the white shrimp start to look a little bit gray, it is okay. They'll smell a little bit shrimpy too, and that's okay. But after a while, they'll be all finished, okay?
Wow.
And then with the magic of preparation ahead of time,
Right.
we have a
We
bowl
have-
of them, and look at how nice and
Oh, you got to
pink
show.
they
You got to
are
show that.
after a while.
Oh wow, they're starting to get pink right now, Father.
Yeah, but see now, at the
Oh,
end, you'll
wow.
hardly see anything other than pink, you know?
Right.
It's a very nice thing here,
That
okay?
is nice, right?
Okay, so from here, what we'll do is here, if we can put those
We'll put
shrimp
those
in the
over.
refrigerator. We're going to cook those a different way, actually,
Okay, we'll put
later
those in the
on. But we've got it all
refrigerator.
ready to go.
Okay.
And now, what we'll do is we'll take our scalded jalapeno pepper that we worked on before.
Right.
Okay, so here that is. I'll go ahead, put this here, and I'll get a fork.
Forks in the drawer, Father.
Okay.
Here you
and
go.
I forget which
Father,
drawer. I'm sorry.
Father,
so
it's
here
right
we
here.
go. Oh, it's right in front
Right
of
in
my
front
nose.
of your
It would have
nose,
bit me
right.
if it were a snake.
That's
as
pretty
they
cool,
say.
Father.
Well, thank you.
love that.
So we'll go ahead and put a little bit of this. And again, you can put this in right away. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into both our batches here because while that's a small batch, it'll be a nice batch. A little secret, we're doing a garlic-free batch for Kathryn.
Excuse me, Father.
But for me, garlic is an important flavor of the ceviche. So,
Right.
So you can see where I cooked it, how, it looks like a jalapeno pepper looks almost like it's made of plastic. You can get almost all, now this is the part that didn't scald as well, but that's okay. You can have a little bit left on there. So let's get rid of the end of it then.
Right.
And then let's just cut it down the middle. And then, we won't be real scrupulous about it, but we want to go ahead and get some of this stuff out. We want some of these seeds out, okay? There are intense aromas here, okay? And again, you don't want to be breathing too close, like be breathing over when you're scalding that jalapeno. Okay, so look at this now. We have a nice, flimsy, light green, and by the way, much calmer jalapeno, okay? Okay, so we have a nice light green, kind of flimsy jalapeno. It's nice and tender. It's a little bit calmer than it was. Okay, and I like to salt each ingredient a little bit before it goes in. I feel like somehow that's going to draw some of the flavors out of it. So look at me do that a little bit, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead, I'll get these last seeds off of this knife here, okay? And again, that's nice. So if you have a seed or two left, that's okay. You just don't want a lot of them. And you don't want to have anyone get a big bite of jalapeno, just a little bit, even though it's calmer, you still don't want them to have too much. Okay, then if you'll take maybe, about that much and put it in our main batch here. And then even a little bit more, okay? How about, and then, that, and then even a tiny bit more. And then the other part.
I can use
there,
for the other?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. In fact, maybe just a little bit, half of that, okay. And then one more time, and we'll go ahead and put the rest in here. Kathryn has one of these wonderful scrapers that get everything in there really nice, okay? Oh, and don't scratch your eyes after you handle jalapeno.
I'm not going to. I'm going to wash my hands.
Just making sure.
Okay.
Safety first and all that. Okay, so then, and then Kathryn's cleaning off the board here. And see now, look, we have this nice salt now, a little bit of salt in it. Again, I like to wait until a little bit later to have the salt. If I might just put in the jalapeno plain. I'm sorry, I'm picking up another one. I don't need another one. So, have a red onion. And with the red onion, I'll go ahead and clean this off real quick. Just a nice normal red onion from the grocer. And I'll go ahead and cut this into a few slices here. I'd say for a pound of shrimp, 3 slices will be plenty, okay?
3 slices.
So, and each slice is about 1 centimeter thick, okay? And I know we could have unwrapped the whole thing first, but I like doing it this way. Then you just have a little ribbon of paper to get rid of. If you want, if you're not sure and you want to get rid of the whole outside, you can.
Right.
Okay, and this one's a little bit sideways, but that's no problem at all either. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and chop this up. You know what? I want another slice. No real science to this. It's just, do you like a lot of onion or not? And
you're really into onions, aren't you?
I do like onions, yes.
Onions are really
onions
good.
And garlic, yeah. So I'm unfortunately taking a lot of this outside layer off, but that's okay. Okay, I bought a bag of the red onions. If you get enough recipes with the red onions, it's nice to.
I love to use red onions for different things.
So I'm going to just go a little bit sideways here to make it easier for me to cut it. Again, there's no great science to, the shape of them or anything, as long as they're just kind of small. So again, here they're not going to be even as big as a dice, right? But you want what you figure will kind of cling, to one forkful. Okay, so I'm going through like this.
Right.
And then I'll turn it sideways and we'll go ahead and do this.
That's easy.
And then if you'll bring over the stainless steel bowl.
Okay.
Right
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you do,
the thing
just make it your scraper magic then
just
again.
Just a minute. I got to wipe it off.
Okay. No need to clean the utensils in between your vegetables there.
That's all right.
It's all going to the same place, as they used to say.
Right.
Okay, okay, I'll let you do your thing.
All of it?
Yeah, all of that in there, yes. And And then I'll even throw this in as well. I'll just kind of go like that gently.
Okay.
And then this is for the small
little
batch.
one. Right. So look at that. That looks beautiful. I'm just going to do this, Father.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yes, toss it around. We like that. Yes, very much.
Now, this is like a salad then, right?
Right.
An
right.
hors d'oeuvre
But
salad.
I would call it a seafood salad is what I would call it.
Seafood salad,
Yeah,
right,
that's it.
okay.
I think we're safe calling it that.
Okay, this will
then
feed
if we
how
go and
many
throw this
people,
in.
though, Father? 3,
Oh.
4?
You know, if as a meal, as kind of like a little first course,
Yeah.
I would serve that to 3 people. I don't
3
think that,
people.
you know, as a meal, it's maybe 2. And you'd
Okay.
have to have a little bit of something else with it, you know.
Right, right.
And, okay, but so that's very nice. Now I'm going to go get a couple of other ingredients here.
Okay. We need to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Father Andrew Umberg and Kathryn Raaker on The Chef You and I. We're back on The Chef You and I with Father Andrew Umberg, and this is the shrimp night.
And
And
we have our ceviche, which is on the way.
Ceviche, and my ceviche that's on the way.
That's right.
And so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut some parsley, or what are we
Yes,
doing?
we're going to do a couple of things. For one, that Kathryn has a separate batch because she doesn't want the garlic in it. I wonder if she could take a little garlic salt in it, but I'll leave that up to her.
No, I can't.
Okay, okay. So the thing is,
Go
with
ahead.
this batch, though, I've got about a pound of shrimp in here. Maybe say 4/5 of a pound. We gave a little bit to
Okay.
Kathryn. Okay, so I have the lemon and lime, the shrimp itself that's been sitting in the lemon and lime juice for 2 hours, absorbing and turning pink. It's being cooked by the citric acid. Okay, and then I have roasted jalapeno, a Whopper, in there. Okay, it's been roasted, peeled, and then cut up with the seeds out of it, and it's in there. And then what, about a half to 2/3 of a medium red onion. Now I'm taking a nice bunch of
Looks like emerald.
chopped garlic, okay, and I'm throwing that in there. And then, according to my custom, I'm salting that garlic as soon as it goes in to keep all get all those garlic juices drawn out of it. Okay, and you're going to need a little bit more salt in yours. We can wait to the end if you want, or
I can do
whatever
it
for
now.
yours.
I
Okay,
can
do
do
a
it now.
do a couple. Okay, so from there then, if I can have your red spatula then,
Sure.
and we'll toss this around a little bit.
And what do you want me to do with these, my dear?
Okay, then we start picking the heads off. Okay, so now we've
Like
got
this?
garlic everywhere in there.
Like that?
Yes, yes, the heads of it. So here's what I'm doing, okay? You have, we're not really cutting per se. Some people prefer to cut it. I prefer to, you know, it's okay if you get a little bit of a little tree in there. You just want most of the stem out. So see how I did that?
Yes, I saw how you did that.
Okay,
I know how
so
you did
yeah, so
Right.
different ideas.
Right. I made
Yeah,
a
that's
le-
probably
I
a
made
little bit more than
lemon
that.
I made lemon bars the other day. I'm going to do a lemon and cheese bar, which I think is going to be so delicious. Right?
That sounds great to me.
I know. But I love lemon, and you have to like lemon. It's really good for you.
Oh, it's such a, there's no fresher scent than lemon, in my
Right,
opinion, especially
right.
the peel, the lemon oil. Of course, we don't really have that in here, but
But that's
still,
all right.
It's very nice. So I'm tossing this in here, and really, it's nice to let the flavors sit maybe for a little bit, maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, which we will since we're going to cook another dish here. But again, the key thing is you want that shrimp or whatever seafood that you get in there. Once it's all in, you want to make sure if the lemon juice doesn't cover it all together, because that gets to be a lot, you go ahead and toss it every now and then, but make sure it's soaking in there for at least 2 hours, soaking in that lemon juice. And then you add most of your salt afterwards, because the salt's going to, I
help
think, yeah, mess up your acid a little bit there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it's starting to look kind of salady.
Yeah. And then what
we
else
have-
goes in it?
Well, we had one
More
more. Oh, I'm
ingredient.
sorry, two more ingredients. Sorry, I
Okay.
lied. Okay, so here we go. So now we could use a little bit more parsley,
Parsley?
I think. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But it's nice. Actually, we're doing pretty well there. Okay, so cayenne pepper. I know we already have jalapeno in there, but the cayenne pepper is going to add another flavor. It's going to add a little bit of bitterness as well as heat. And just a little sprinkling. I mean, not even an eighth of a teaspoon, maybe a 16th of a teaspoon. So see, I've made it turn a little bit red there.
Can I borrow that a little
But just
bit?
over the top, sure. So just a little sprinkling there. See, it looks like more than it is, okay? It's not too much. Again, it's not even a 16th of a teaspoon. And now I'm tossing this around, tossing it around. Okay. Nothing too scientific about that.
That looks so good. Look at that.
And then I'm opening up the olive oil, and I'm putting in a nice new bottle of olive oil here.
Wow.
Nice. Extra virgin is what I usually buy. I think it's a better flavor enhancer when you have that nice full
I think so too.
thing. So anyway, I'll put in what I think is about a tablespoon, and then another tablespoon. There, that's more than plenty. And
Okay.
I'll give you like a little half tablespoon. How about?
That's enough.
Okay. So we can put a little black pepper in if we want to, but really, you know what? And I'm going to. I think I usually do. Just for another variety to the flavor, but just a tiny bit of black pepper. You don't want to get carried away with that. We've already peppered everyone to death here pretty much. Okay, a couple of turns. That's more than enough, I am sure.
Now, when do you want to plate it, Father?
Well, we'll go ahead and plate this at the end because it doesn't hurt
Okay.
anything for this to all sit here and all that garlic
And everything
and
sit
onion
together.
to get together. Yeah. Ooh,
Right. Ooh.
That's going to be very nice. But we can put it off for this.
To the side? Oh, wow. Woo! Let's put it over here to the side, Father.
Okay. It's very aromatic. And here you go.
Right, there we go.
And
I think we need to take just a little break and we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we're doing something really fun with what, Father, and what are we doing with it?
with Brussels sprouts. Now, again, this is like the third time I've cooked Brussels sprouts on here. But
I
it's
love your Brussels sprouts.
Well,
So.
thank you, thank you. And this is a new way. I don't know if you'll like this as much, but I thought it was different and I thought it was good, and I think some people will really love this. I liked it. But anyway, it's a tribute to chain Chinese restaurants, Brussels sprouts.
Okay. So what do you want to do first?
Well, first, we bought already washed Brussels sprouts, so that's nice. And some of these are Whoppers. So we're going to cut off the nubs of them.
Like that?
Yes, beautiful.
Okay.
And then we cut them from the top to the bottom. We're gonna quarter them. So 2 ways each, and then we'll go ahead and throw them.
And then
into
just
this
quarter
handy
like
bowl.
that?
Correct,
Yeah?
correct. Yes.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yep. So we're quartering each. Each one gets into 4. You know, the smaller ones we can maybe just do into halves. But for me, the way to get the flavor and the heat into the Brussels sprout is to get all those layers off, to have those edges. That way you can scorch them, which is delicious. In fact, on this menu it says scorched Brussels sprouts.
Scorched Brussels sprouts.
Wok scorched Brussels sprouts.
Now, do they use sesame oil or what do they use?
They started with peanut oil, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Normally, I like to cook my Brussels sprouts in a combination of olive oil and butter. You know,
remember
maybe
that.
like 1 part butter to 3 parts of olive oil. But for this, just to make it more the way they did it, I'm going with peanut oil.
Okay.
That's the standard thing, that's my understanding, for Chinese cooking.
Right.
And so, here we go. So as you're working on these, I'd say we should do about a half the bag. You know, we don't
Okay.
want to have too many. But,
Why? They're good.
well, that's true. Okay, cut as many as you want then. I'm happy to make sure we get them done. Okay, so here we have jalapeno peppers.
Again?
Yes, jalapeno peppers, and we have already washed them. And now, frankly, it was a different pepper at the restaurant. It was something a little bit more mild. It was a red pepper, but was shaped like a jalapeno.
Okay.
But I didn't have those available to me, and
Should have called me, buddy.
Oops, sorry.
You should have called me. That's all right.
And so what I'll do here then is I'll cut the jalapeno this way as well.
Yeah.
In fact, if I were really smart, which I'm getting older and wiser by the moment.
Really?
Here. Yeah, I'm trying. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just cut down the middle here to cut out some of this stem first, so we can have that part done. Again, you want to be careful, though, in handling jalapeno peppers because
They can be really hot, and if you put your, like you said, you don't want to touch your face with it or your eyes.
Yes, especially your eyes,
Get
but
it.
even your face and even maybe your forearms even, you know.
I
It's
wash my
tough
hands
stuff.
every time I do anything with them, or I use gloves.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. Yeah, so that was a little bit smarter this way, because now I've got to fish these out, fish some of these seeds out of the other ones. So sorry about that, folks.
We've got a little bit of, oh, you're fishing it out a different way, huh?
Yeah, I think this is going to be easier.
Okay.
That's the dream anyway. Okay. So now I've quartered it really, and see again, I'm cutting too much. Cutting the pepper a little bit more than I want to, though. The thing is with jalapeno peppers, I thought this was crazy when I was making a dish called chiles en escabeche.
Yeah.
The lady that taught me how to make them said, now you don't want to cut them, you just want to poke them. And I
Right.
said, well, it's all the same thing, right? Conservation of heat. Well, not really. So these might be a little bit spicy, but the good news is we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to make sure that they're a little bit scalded first. So again, that'll calm it down a little bit. And then at the end, we're going to add our secret sweetening ingredient.
And what's that, Father?
Okay, we'll tell the secret now. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Okay.
We're going to put pineapple chunks
Oh,
and
that's
pineapple
going to be
juice.
really calming it down.
Yeah, so we'll
actually.
put some of the juice in and some chunks or bits. You know, I probably should have bought bits, but I have chunks tonight, and I think that's still going to be nice. So
Right.
anyway, I've taken out most of the seeds here. Okay, and I'm going to be careful before, I'm going to wash my hands thoroughly before I touch
Right.
my eyes again. Or
Okay.
actually, I probably won't touch
Do
my
you think
eyes,
that's enough, or do you want the whole bag?
but I think that we're good. Oh yeah,
We're
that's
good.
definitely
Okay.
funny. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So we'll
So-
put those over here.
Okay, and then I
And-
have
What?
our jalapeno. And remember, we scalded that that other jalapeno before, so we're going to use the same peanut oil
Okay.
and maybe add a little bit more.
There.
So I'll go like that, okay?
Here you go.
And there we go, okay. And if you'll go ahead and turn on that burner for me.
And actually, our water is boiling.
Is boiling, so we're also going to make shrimp and pasta, so we have pasta water boiling.
We're back on the Chef, you and I. And Father, we actually have everything quartered. The
Right.
Brussels sprouts is quartered.
Okay.
Didn't you put the pasta
I have
in
two
the water?
jalapenos. I put some pasta and some boiling water here for another dish that we're about to make. But right now I'm working on the Brussels sprouts. So far I have 2 jalapeno peppers. This is for quite a bit. This is almost 3/4 of a pound of Brussels sprouts. So I have 2 big jalapeno peppers. I have them sauteing here in peanut oil. Now you can use the other vegetable oil. You could even use olive oil on a lower temperature. But I'm going to go ahead and salt these a little bit. We're trying to comb them down a little bit here. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of instant onion. Okay, we can use fresh onion if we want, but today we're just going to go ahead and use about a nice tablespoon of instant onion. There we go.
Okay.
In it goes. That'll be nice. Normally, I would also put a bunch of garlic in. Okay.
But you're not gonna do
I
that
put
to me.
about this much in. Okay, a
Yeah?
good heaping tablespoon. But we won't. Okay.
Thank you.
Today. Okay. So these are cooking. So I have some instant onion, of course, and the instant onion and the jalapeno pepper there. I'm just tossing that around a little bit. You can use a spatula if you prefer. Now I'm taking the Brussels sprouts, which we have in this big bowl, and I'm just tossing those in, okay? We're making a big batch here. Maybe a little bit too big for the
Do you
skillet
want-
I chose.
Do you
but,
want? You can put that.
you know, we'll go
transfer.
ahead and we'll switch skillets, okay? If you'll go ahead and
Okay.
put that down there, Kathryn, thank you. This would be smarter. Rather than fighting the space, it's probably better, folks, to go ahead and just make sure we
Use a bigger.
yeah,
skillet.
use a
We're
bigger
fine.
skillet to begin with.
Okay, so give
Okay.
it to me.
I'll give that to you then. Okay, how nice. Okay, and we're waiting a little bit here to get some scorching going on.
Okay, so it's starting to. Sounds like the Brussels sprouts are starting to get better.
They are. They're starting to sizzle away. And
I didn't like Brussels sprouts when I was a kid, but I love them today.
Yeah, I think that it's a way that they're cooked differently now. I
Yeah.
still don't think I like them the way
I
we
don't
used
like
to do
them.
it.
Yeah, they used to boil them.
Yeah, in green water.
In green water?
Well, the water would turn green, and then they would
What?
overboil them.
They tasted
What I would
like
say
mush.
is murdering them.
Yeah. How can you?
So I'm tossing around these Brussels sprouts now with
Okay.
the jalapeno and that instant onion, and I've just decided I want even more onion. Again, it's hard to have too much onion or garlic. I'm going almost another tablespoon and a half of the onion here, okay?
Okay.
Now, especially since we're not doing garlic. Normally we would do garlic. Okay, so now we can start to see that
Right.
the onion is starting to scorch and the Brussels sprouts here and there are starting to scorch. We want that scorched look to them, okay?
Right. So what
Now-
did you have with those Brussels sprouts?
Now, this might seem crazy, but
Okay.
I'm going to put one more thing in the Brussels sprouts,
Right.
and that is a little bit of cayenne pepper, okay?
There's never
just
too
a
much.
tiny bit, yeah. I mean, not even close to a 16th of a tablespoon. And I'm going to make sure it's tossed around nicely there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is really looking nice. I think I need a little bit more peanut oil. I started with 3 tablespoons, but I
Right.
think with this amount, I want to put a little bit more in. So
Well, that's
again, I
important.
just have a nice pure peanut oil, and I'm going to go ahead and just pour another 2 tablespoons in. So I'm going to say we have about 4.5 tablespoons in there.
Now you're going to add this pineapple to.
The Brussels sprouts, yeah,
Brussels sprouts.
once they're thoroughly scalded, and now that we've got that oil,
Yeah.
see now, look how pretty these are starting to look.
Oh, that's
You see
beautiful.
the scalded onion
Oh,
and
yeah.
now the jalapeno, we already made sure we combed that down by cooking it and salting it before we even added any of this.
It smells like a Chinese restaurant in here now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now see, this is just what we want. The Brussels sprouts are bright in some places and scorched in others,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
and they're nicely salted. So we'll go ahead and again, to me, you almost can't overcook them. I mean, you
Right.
can, but I mean, it's pretty difficult to make it so that they don't taste good.
So let
Probably-
me ask you a question here. How long do you think that you would cook them?
Once they start really sizzling, a good 4 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe?
4 or 5. Yeah, in that range.
And-
Again, the color. Everyone's pan is going to be different.
Right.
Everyone's flame is going to be different, or heating element.
Right.
So yeah. I'd say 4 or 5 minutes is a nice amount of time.
So now
Okay,
when...
there's our timer for our pasta. I
Okay,
think.
so all you have to do is that, Father.
Okay, and then
Okay. You want to take,
there's- I'll
Father,
need some,
right there, right there.
pot
here,
holders. Okay, if
No.
you'll go ahead and
right here.
great. I'll
For
put on
you.
these little gloves, and we'll go ahead and pour this.
And on
into the
that note, we're going
colander.
to take a short break. We're back on the Chef You and I, and Father, the Brussels sprouts are done, but we're going to add the pineapple, right?
Yes, we're doing about a half can of pineapple chunks.
Okay.
Now I should have bought the tidbits. I forgot. So and Kathryn kindly
Chopped them up.
cut them in half.
Okay.
Now look at how they look now. These handles kind of warm, as you had warned me. But see, it's okay that some of these are a little bit scorched. That's fine. That's just what we want. So then go ahead and throw those pineapples in there, Kathryn, if you would.
I will. Watch it.
Look
Ooh,
at
that
that.
looks
Now
good.
that's going
Do
to
you want
really
some
sweeten
juice?
it up.
Do you
And
want-
yes, I would love some juice in there too then. Let's put about half the juice in, since we put half the pineapples in. Lovely, perfect. Okay. And now we'll let this get nice and hot. We'll toss that around, and then, oh, that should be good.
That will be good.
True confessions, I salted the Brussels sprouts a little bit more,
Okay.
and I just think that's nice. You want to make sure that you have a nice finished flavor to it, and that'll be wonderful. Now we also we already put the salad rotini. I like to have some color to add something to a
Right,
pasta dish.
right.
And I like rotini when I'm eating a pasta with oil, because, you know, I don't like throwing the oil all over the place. It's nice to be able to just take a fork, get a little bit of shrimp and a little bit of pasta
Right, that sounds
together.
good. That's
Yeah,
good.
so
Do you use
I like that.
Parmesan at all?
Oh, yes. I love a
Okay.
little Parmesan or Parmesan
Right.
Romano or
I see
whatever we have.
Whatever you have.
Okay, now this is really getting nice and hot here. And I guess I want it to get a little bit hotter. And so I'm bringing the juice to a boil so that it kind of then is also getting inside all those little leaves of the Brussels sprouts. You know, I
Right,
really like
right.
that. So I'm tossing that around real nice. Again, you can do this pretty well with a spatula. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and pour this right then into our serving. Oh, smell. Can you smell those scalded?
Oh, yeah, I can.
I mean, for whatever reason, Brussels sprouts are something that tastes good. I could use the rubber spatula. I'll just hit it real quick so
There's
it,
no garlic on there, is there?
Oh, I don't believe so.
Okay, let's do this.
We're
I
making
got
sure
another
there's no
one.
garlic.
I got
Okay.
another one. Okay.
Okay, just hit that right on in there then.
Okay. And what I'm going to do, Father, is just move them around.
Okay,
a
I'm going to
little.
move a little bit more out because we're going to use this for our shrimp pasta, and I don't want any of the Brussels sprout
Yeah, you want
flavor
it
because
over
it is
there,
a
too.
strong flavor.
Okay.
It's a delicious flavor. Okay, if you'll
Go
go ahead and
ahead.
smooth those out.
I will.
And then meanwhile, over here,
Right.
I'm going to take some olive oil and put in, I'm putting in about a good third of a cup, everybody.
Okay.
And today we're going to try to do this. Normally I would put in, again, my traditional big spoon, maybe 2 heaping spoons of garlic, okay? I would let that saute a little bit. Today we're going to do instant onion and see how that ends up tasting, okay, with the shrimp. But then
Okay.
if I can have that bowl of shrimp, we'll go ahead and do that then.
Here you go, Father.
Okay, so I'll take the shrimp and I'll put that in first. Okay, and here we go. The shrimp then is going to cook away, and then I'm
Okay.
going to go ahead and just throw a lot of onion on here. Okay.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, some water will cook out of there and kind of help liven up that instant onion a little bit.
Now,
you know?
what do you use any cayenne or any other peppers or anything with
That's
this
an
or
excellent
not?
question. Just black pepper with this one.
Okay,
With
just
this
black
particular
pepper.
dish. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get that going. So I'll go ahead and crack some pepper in.
And that's fresh pepper. That's what I love about those wonderful types of peppers and salts, sea salt and whatever, because it gives a really nice flavor to it. But I didn't see you put any lemon on it.
No, there's no lemon in this one.
No lemon in this one.
No, because again, the dominant flavor normally is garlic. This is an experiment here. So again, folks, if you want to do this the way I would normally do it,
2 tablespoons of garlic.
yeah, you know, a couple of heaping tablespoons for about a third of a cup or so of oil.
And do you want a platter or
cooking
something for that when it's finished? Or are you going to put that? Are you?
Yes, a platter. I think a bowl is nice, or
bowl?
a pasta bowl. Yeah,
Okay,
pasta
let me
bowl.
get a pasta bowl for you. This one? Okay, how about this one, Father? Is this all
Oh,
right?
that'll be beautiful. That'll be beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to this. Now, again, I had said I already added about a third of a cup. Now, again, this is a serving for about 4 people, so
Okay.
don't feel too bad about how much oil
Oil's
we're
in
putting
there.
in.
Well, I don't use butter when I do rolls, or not rolls, but I do French bread or whatever. I always do olive oil. I think much better for you.
Actually, but I like a little bit of butter in the flavor.
You want
If we
some
could
butter?
Put 1 part butter to 4 parts olive oil. Again, the olive oil certainly is better for you. It's a delicious flavor. But butter or even a little margarine,
This is
I
butter.
prefer butter. Butter
This
is
is butter.
I prefer.
And guess what kind it is? Irish Gold.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pure.
Fancy, fancy. Okay.
Can I say?
Wonderful. And then how about if you put in
Yeah.
about, okay, so we have what I would say is about a 1/4 cup there at least,
How much
maybe
you
getting
want?
to a 1/2 cup. Why don't you put about a third of that in there? We're putting in a couple of tablespoons.
Okay.
Okay, just throw it right on in there anywhere.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so now we're going to add some other flavors here.
Okay.
Well, actually not other flavors, but other elements. I'll go ahead and I want to toss this shrimp. I'm not doing a very neat job of this. I definitely want to make sure both sides of the shrimp have been
Get done.
exposed to the heat, yeah, because we don't want to bite in. You know, there's nothing worse than biting into a shrimp that just doesn't feel like,
It's done.
quite hit the rest of that. Of course, it's also bad though to overcook them, so we want to make sure that each shrimp gets its due attention here.
Here, Father, you want to use this maybe? Would that work
Oh,
better?
sure. Let's try some tongs. It certainly couldn't hurt a thing. Okay, now we're very close to the end here for the shrimp.
Okay,
Okay, and so I'll just throw that there if that's okay.
that's fine.
Okay, now I know this is a little bit messy, but okay, there's two ways we can go here. And I'm going to go both ways though on this one. I mean, I'm going to put both, there's two things that we can do. We could just put parsley in or we could put basil in.
What would you like to do?
And I'm going to definitely put the, I can't resist the basil, but I want parsley because we have parsley. So just a moment.
Do you need basil?
I'm going to go with the flakes. I'm sorry, this is, it's just an easier way of
Of doing
getting it done. Now, again, if you have a herb garden, God bless you. It's
Do you know what I
wonderful.
do? Do you know what I do? I go and get basil leaves if I don't have a garden. I buy a big package. I chop them up in my, the chopper, and put them in freezer bags and put them in the freezer, and they're good all year round. How about that?
That sounds like a good way of doing things. Watch me put the pasta in.
Ooh, wow.
Okay, so our pasta's already cooled off a little bit, but that's fine. And watch this. I'm also going to throw in some parsley just for the fun of it, right?
Yeah, because it's going to look
And
really
it'll also
good.
look pretty too, yeah. And it
Yeah.
and it has a, it's another antidote to the garlic that's normally in here. Okay.
That looks great.
Thank you. And then I add one more thing, and that is a frustration of mine when I have a dish like this is I feel like the pasta and the shrimp don't always hold the sauce as well as I'd like them to.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to remedy that
By what?
by, could you go get the club crackers?
Oh, sure.
And I'm going to smash some club crackers into there.
How many do you want, Father?
Okay, how about, let's start with 10. If you hand that to me, I'm going to, nothing great, so that's about the first 8 here, right? And then I'm going around like that, okay?
I've seen you do this before.
And then, yes, I cracker crumbs just do a lot. And sometimes I just use the ones that, the kind of more, tan ones. But I think this is nice in that it doesn't change the color of the
That's
dish
right.
too much. I like
That's
that.
right.
I like that about it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it around a little bit more. And I'm going to add a few more crackers because this is a big batch here.
Is that
Oh,
enough?
but this will be wonderful. Yes, that's fine, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll stop there. So we went about a half sleeve of crackers, or around probably about 18 or 20 crackers.
Right.
And now I would say we are ready to serve
To plate
this.
it? To plate it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, okay. Okay, and here we go. We'll go ahead and pour our nice, beautiful pasta, our nice pasta dish in there. And Kathryn, if you'll straighten that out, shake the bowl a little bit or
Sure.
something there.
Okay, that looks beautiful.
And
Don't
it
you think-
smells nice
Oh,
too, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I can eat this.
Yeah, and
Yay!
then we might add a little bit of garlic.
To
the
yours.
Producer and I, yes.
Yeah, your
okay.
producer and you. I'll make a plate for me, and then you guys can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Is that good?
Well, great then. So we have our Brussels sprouts.
Right?
Oh, we
Oh,
can
we
plate
haven't
up
done.
the
We have to
ceviche,
plate
yes.
it. This ceviche.
And I think that maybe needs,
Can you give me those right there?
sure.
Actually, that will look really sweet.
So this is nice served with Parmesan cheese, or better, a Parmesan Romano. You can serve it, stir it in right after the crackers, or just put it on the table, or again, both. Why not?
Okay, so here's mine. And look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Let's put that out there, and I'm just going to clean this up a little, Father, and find out how much time we still have on our show. We're fine? Okay. So here's a absolutely wonderful treat. Let's put that over there, Father.
Okay.
And you'll be able to have this very easily. And we want to say you can get the recipes on our Chef You and I site. And we also are on television everywhere. You know that, Father.
Yes.
And we're actually on 24/7 on our own television network. You didn't know that, did you?
I did not.
Okay, so, and we're in 88 countries now. So we're doing very well. And you can always find us up on our Kathryn Raaker's YouTube site, too.
Very nice.
Or on your site. You'll be able to see that.
Wonderful. Yeah, the
Right.
St. Joseph Parish site.
Yeah, the St. Joseph Parish site, because he's always making new things. We want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight on The Chef You and I. Thank you, Father, so much. And we'll see you next time. Bon appetit.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the Chef You and I show today. We'll be back next week with another great and healthy recipe. Don't forget to visit our website, thechefyouandi.com, for all of our featured recipes, cooking tips, and clips of the show.